Hi everyone, welcome back to Shireen's Art Corner. Today I want to share a canvas art project using alcohol ink, silver leaf, and transparency sheets. So let's get started. Alright everyone, for this project we are going to be needing the Gloss Mod Podge Ultra Liquid Spray. And if you have the matte, that also works. I have Mona Lisa adhesive size and an applicator. We're going to be needing a pair of scissors. Here I have a pack of silver leaf foil. You can also use bronze or gold depending on the look that you want to go for. And I have 6 different colors of alcohol inks. I'm going to be using 1 color per building. But you can of course use as many colors as you like. Here I have a couple of transparencies with some building images on it. I got the images from Hungry JPEG. I'll put a link down below. And then I also got this full moon picture just from the internet, and I just printed that out on transparency sheet using my laser printer. Additionally, we are going to be needing a canvas for this project. You can use a large or small canvas. You can also use a wood panel if you like. I'm going to be using some Mars Black acrylic paint, some white acrylic paint, gold glitter, and here is gold glitter by Art Accents, and a sponge brush or a paint brush. And lastly, some spray adhesive by Mona Lisa. So for the first step, we are going to be coloring our buildings on our transparency sheet, and we're going to apply the alcohol inks on the side where the toner is fused onto the transparency. That way the other side is completely glossy. It'll just give it a nice finish look. And then what I'm going to do is just pour the alcohol ink onto the building and then use an applicator to spread that color to completely cover the building. Now I'm using 1 color per building. It's up to you. You can definitely blend the colors if you like. I'm just going to apply a couple of layers just to get a nice vibrant color. Another thing you can do to add some character to your buildings is use a can of compressed air, pour some alcohol ink onto the transparency, and then use the compressed air to blow some lines in the building just to give it a little bit more of texture, I guess, and then it just gives it a little bit more character, I think, instead of having solid colors on the transparency. And then finally I'm going to add the last color on the center building. And this is just another way to apply the alcohol inks, is you could just use your hands and not get it dirty. Just apply a finger glove on it and then apply the alcohol inks. And here you can see I'm just doing a little bit more of the compressed air, and you can see a little bit more. Alright guys, so once the alcohol inks are completely dry, we are going to be moving on to the next step, which is applying the silver leaf to the buildings. Now we're going to be using the Mona Lisa adhesive size, and basically what that is a liquid glue for gold leaf application. It's white, but once you spread it out, it dries clear and it dries tacky, and you just want to make sure that you don't have too much on there, just enough to give you a good coverage and give you the tack that you need to apply the silver leaf. And once you do that, that'll be done. Now you want to make sure also that the applicator that you're using to apply the Mona Lisa adhesive size, if there's ink that comes onto the applicator, you just want to make sure you either use a different applicator or cut the top off and continue using that sponge. Otherwise you'll start blending your colors if you're going for the single color like I am here. Here I accidentally pour a little bit extra on there, but that's okay. Just make sure that you spread it completely and that you don't have any globs of paint sitting on your transparency. Otherwise it doesn't give a nice smooth finish. You just want to make sure you spread it completely and have a good coverage. And it doesn't take long for it to dry. It dries pretty quickly. You can just put your finger on and check to make sure that it doesn't get stuck on your finger, and then it's tacky, and then it's ready to go. So the first sheet that we have completed is ready. It feels tacky and it's not wet. So what we're going to do now is start applying the silver leaf. Now what you want to do again, we're going to apply the silver leaf to the tacky side. Make sure there's no fans or a window open, otherwise the silver leaf will kind of blow over. It's very thin, and so it'll be all over the place before you know it. So you want to make sure that you have a good controlled area for that. And then if you miss any spots, or if there's a spot that doesn't have tackiness to it, again, you can get some of more of the adhesive size, apply it, and then wait for it to dry and then apply some more silver leaf. But as you can see, it definitely gives a different, gives it a nice shine, gives it a different look than before, and I really like it. So now we can start cutting around the edges and getting the single. All right, so now that's done. We are going to move on to the next transparency sheet, and again, we're going to do the same steps. This is the final look with the silver leaf applied to the back of these buildings. Alright guys, so for the next step, we are going to color our canvas with the black acrylic paint and let that completely dry. And the next step would be to thin out some of that white paint. So you take a little bit of white paint and then add a few drops of water just to thin it out, enough where you can dip your paintbrush in it and then flick it onto the canvas. And that gives it a starry night effect. And then while that paint is still wet, I'm just going to take a little bit of glitter, and I don't have that in this video, but I take a little bit of glitter and just sprinkle it on the canvas as well, and that just gives it a nice look. Once the light catches the glitter, it kind of... Alright guys, so I just wanted to point out for the moon itself, I used the Mona Lisa adhesive spray instead of the size. And that's because the moon color is very transparent, and you could see the brush strokes of the adhesive size, which is the liquid one. And so for this one I chose to use the spray, and you could definitely use the spray for the buildings as well, so it's definitely up to you. But for, like I said, for this one I used the spray instead of the size, and then I applied the silver leaf to the back. Alright guys, so once that's done and the background is completely dry, you are ready to start placing your pieces onto the canvas and, figure out where you want everything to be. Alright guys, we're almost done. Once you have your placement, we are ready to start applying the pieces onto the canvas permanently, and for that we're going to be using the Gloss Mod Podge Ultra. I'm just going to spray that on the canvas and then apply the pieces on. And just push it down to make sure that it's completely stuck on. Again, this is liquid. It's not going to feel very tacky, but it will dry tacky. It's actually really good. You don't have any brush strokes or anything like that that are visible once you use this product. And then to complete the look, if you want, you can use the Marabu relief paste to outline the buildings, and you're done. Here's a piece I've done in the past using the same techniques, except I have bronze leaf behind the buildings and silver behind the moon, and I added a layer of resin just to give it a completely glossy look. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I hope you guys give it a try. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys soon.